Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, Riot, what do you do? What did you do? Did they really call this a nerf? There's no way they said this is a nerf, right? Okay, so let me just read this out real quick. Minimum base damage reduced to 45 from 55. Then 70, 80, 95, 105, 120, 130, 145, 155. So pretty much it's just 10 damage base on your base damage reduced. Okay, that's not too bad of a nerf. Maximum base damage reduced to 90. So this is when you're fully charged. Okay, so not too bad. What did she get in compensation? Minimum bonus AD ratio increased to 80% bonus AD from 70. So that's 10% increase. And maximum bonus AD ratio increased to 160 from 140. That's a 20% increase. Are you kidding me? Do you know how massive that is? However, they increased the AD scaling by 10%. That is crazy. 10% is scaling. That means on every single item you buy or that has AD, you have a bonus 10% of damage. But this is actually pretty crazy because you know what that means? It means Vile now scales as a hyper carry into the late game as long as you build it correctly. So what's the builds or what build are we going to be running? Build or damage build that we can do on Vi. Why don't we go into our items real quickly and I'll show you exactly what that is. Okay, so here we are with the build. This is the full build and pretty much what you want to be building every game on Vi now. And I'll explain it. First item, Eclipse. Now, we've seen plenty of Eclipse builds in the past. However, this one is going to be a little bit different. The reason why we build Eclipse is not so much for anything other than the fact that it deals damage, it gives ability haste, and the passive actually gives you a stack of carve from the passive of Black Cleaver. What does that mean then? That means if you Q auto E somebody, your electrocute will proc a carve proc, and your eclipse will also a carve proc, meaning that you'll have 5 stacks of carve and armor reduction onto the target that you hit. So this core right here, where you have Eclipse and Black Cleaver, shreds the enemy's armor so much to the fact that you're pretty much dealing true damage once you do a 1Q auto E combo, because your W will apply your 20% armor reduction, and Eclipse paired with Black Cleaver will reduce the enemy's armor so significantly they're going to have 0 armor. I don't care how much armor they have building on them. They're going to be dealing pretty much true damage to the build. Now why Mana Moon? Why GA? Why Edge of Night? What are these other items? But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about Ionian Boots and why Ionian Boots is so essential for Vi and especially carry Vi. One, the summoner spell haste is huge. I'm not sure if you heard of this guy named Nathan Mott, but he recently made a video on explaining how to make Vi work in high elo. He's a challenger player, by far better than me. However, he still agrees with me on the fact that you should never, ever use Flash defensively on Vi. The champion just does not function unless you have Flash. You can just not make it work. In higher levels of play, her kit is too one-dimensional and people can see through it. But Flash changes that, and Ionian Boots pretty much makes it so that it's easier for you to get your Flash up off its cooldown to make more plays. Now, think about this. With Ionian Boots, it's also giving you Summoner Haste, and all of these items here have some ability haste in it. So you're pretty much going to have your cooldowns up all the time. In your games, it's pointless to build Axiom Arc. I've used to see people building this on Vi, when this build can literally give you your ultimate in 45 seconds once you have 4 items completed. There is zero point of ever building Axiom Arc when your champion's R ability is off cooldown all the time. The reason why we're going Mana Moon 3rd item and we're building tier later, after we have our Eclipse, is because we get this rune called Ingenious Hunter. And what does Ingenious Hunter do? it reduces the cooldowns of your items. So that allows you to stack your tier very fast. That's why we're also going for a GA and an Edge of Night. We get 2 defensive items in our kit that also synergize with the Ingenious Hunter. So once you get GA, you can now change your playstyle. You can dive in heavy into fights. And people, if they focus you, they're gonna be like, wait, this guy has GA. We don't really want to be fighting him. If you kill him, he's still gonna come back and murder us. So you can get so much value just running in as an assassin and just being able to delete people. And if they try to fight you, you'll just come back to life, and you'll come back as like a 5v3, because if anyone you Q auto E and then R switch to is going to die most likely. You can get this upgraded mana boon very quickly, and once you get it, man, do you ever become a monster. I've never seen such a high scaling build in my life. Even it's even more powerful, or has certain levels of damage comparable to crit vi. Of course, crit vi is going to be like goaded in terms of damage. There's nothing that comes past it, but there's always going to be that issue of getting one shot. However, with Edge of Night, that solves the issue of getting one shot in the later stages of the game, where mages are just doing 1000 damage with single spell abilities like Veigar and Victor and all those champions who can poke you down to oblivion. However, with Edge of Night, this solves this issue. It gives you a spell shield, and Ingenious Hunter also synergizes with Edge of Night. So when you have Edge of Night, you're going to have a spell shield pretty much on a 20-second cooldown, and there's not much people can do to stop that. There's nothing they can do to stop that, in fact. And this is why this build is so powerful. I'm going to show you the rune setup really quickly, so you also get an understanding of what I mean by the item cooldown go lower. Okay, here are our runes. Listen. Electrocute. Electrocute's going to give you that extra proc of Carve from your Black Cleaver. It's why it's essential. It also is one of the most reliable runes you can take on Vi, simply because of your Q auto E combo. It just works so beautifully with it. It will secure you kills. If people try to flash away after you do the combo, they will still die, and it can catch people off guard and surprise them with the amount of damage that you do. This will snag you kills in the early game, where you can use your flash to guarantee that you land a Q, and it will just complete the kit. This is like one of the most important things to do on this kit, because of the way that it works with Carve and how you can secure those early kills. Sudden Impact, you're going to be queuing constantly around the map, so every single time you queue, you pretty much get 9 lethality for free. It's on a 4-second cooldown, and your Q is going to be literally on, I think after you have the full item build, your Q is going to be on a 3-second cooldown. So as long as you're just using Q, you're going to have this up. Literally, you're going to have this up constantly. So it's just a free stats here with Sudden Impact. I was testing Cheap Shot, and it does help you deal more damage. It's comparable to the damage that you get with Sudden Impact. However, it's just more reliable, considering that you're gonna be using Q all the time, like no matter what. Eyeball Combustion is pretty self-explanatory. It's the most consistent way of getting more AD, especially in this snowbally build where you get one kill and then you just start snowballing out of control. And this is the rune that ties it all together. Ingenious Hunter. 20 item haste. That's massive. And then additional 6 item haste per bounty stack. So even with zero stacks, you still get 20 item haste the second you get this rune. And that makes it so easy to stack your tier. Your GA is going to be up constantly. It's going to be so annoying for the enemy team once you get and when you have it fully stacked, it gives you insane value for all of the items that you're building that has cooldowns. It's gonna have your tier cooldown. You're gonna have your Edge of Night cooldown, and you're gonna have your GA cooldown, and this rune just makes this build come all together. Now, we kind of tested both Triumph and Coup de Grace, and we've come to the conclusion that it's just better to go Coup de Grace because of most of the time you're going to be going for those low target enemies, and the numbers are showing that the damage is quite comparable even to Electrocute in the early game. The amount of damage that Coup does is just pretty insane. I was running Triumph for the longest time just because it's just the go-to rune that most people go for. Coup de grace just triumphs. Well, what else can I say? It triumphs. The 20 gold isn't much. The main thing that you'll go for this setup is, or the reason why you build Triumph is not for the gold. It's going to be for the healing, but the healing isn't even that significant. It's not that impressive. It doesn't do much. The damage helps more though. Now with the rune setup, this is preference here. You can go double adaptive, you can go attack speed. For me, I like to go double adaptive, but that means you have to run Alacrity. Otherwise, you're literally not going to be able to clear your camps because you're going to be too slow on your auto attacks. Dumpa likes to do this setup where he goes attack speed and he has adaptive force. This is all preference. I think it changes your clear speed, it changes the way you clear a little bit. So I'm used to using double adaptive because I'm okay with the slow attack speed. He's not okay with it. He feels it's wonky. He also likes to go the HP rune. I like to use the armor rune. I find that I'm more healthy when I have a little bit of armor. He finds that HP is a little bit more useful in fighting. It's all preference here. If you try them out both out, see which one you like. I think that having the adaptive force though makes my Q auto E combo stronger in the early game, and I feel like the early game, especially I'm on a little bit lower elo than him. He's in Masters. I'm playing in Diamond 2. It's going to be helpful with his attack speed, and that is the build. This is the build, guys. Now you may be thinking like this doesn't seem like anything new. It doesn't seem like it's great or anything, but the changes that Vi did, they're incentivizing us to play Vi as damage. They want us to play damage now. There's no more going into games and people pinging your electrocute like, why are you playing Assassin Vi? Because you'll see later in your games that you're going like 20 kills in games and people are like, what is going on? Why does Vi do this so much damage? Where is this coming from? And it's all because of that AD scaling. Until apparently someone did the math where once you hit level 9, all the damage that you lost from your AD is made up by the scaling that they've also given Vi to compensate. This is kind of hearsay. I heard someone else say it, so but you do lose damage in the early game. I think that's also why I like the feeling of adaptive force, because I need to feel that I'm dealing damage and I'm impactful at most stages of the game. That's just how my playstyle works. Now we're going to be looking at one of my games where I went absolutely nuts with this build, and I'm going to show you how powerful this build can be. Okay, now we're in game. If you notice a little bit something about this matchup, you may be like, dude, there's 4 champions on the enemy team that counter you. And I say to you, well, I counter them. If they counter me, I can kill them in one shot and they all die. So if I could just kill them before they can even use any counterplay against me, then it's okay, right? No, I'm actually trolling. Like, this is a terrible, terrible game to play Vi, especially damage Vi. They have a Poppy W. They have a Gragas E that just stops you. They have Zerath E that stops you in your tracks, and his W slows you as well. Sivir also has your spell shield. You can play around it with Smite and do a little bit of tricks, but you have to outplay that, right? Then there's Lux, who you can't just Q her because she'll just Q you if you walk in a straight line at her. It's pretty much the same idea with the Zerath here. So this is a terrible, terrible game to play Vi in, but I'm testing this, right? This is my testing account. This is not my climbing account. I want to see how good is this build really. How effective can I make this build in a terrible game for Vi? We're about to see, guys. We're about to see. This is quite an insane game. I'm not even going to show you the damage. I'm not going to show you the kills that I get. I'm just going to show you my gameplay and tell you my thought process and show you how I got so fed in this game and destroyed the enemy team. Absolutely obliterated them. My thought process here is I have an Ornn in the top lane, right? He's top lane and he's versus Poppy, and there's no real reason for me to path towards top lane here. Like, I can counter gank Gragas if he starts his bot side, but that's not going to get me anywhere. What's going to get me somewhere is the setup I have. The setup that I have in the bot lane with the Morgana is insane. It's huge. If she managed to land a Q onto any of these targets here, then I can get a free kill. She's got setup for me, and also I want to protect my hyper carry Jinx from the enemy team Gragas. However, I see Gragas pathing to his top side. It looks like he's doing red Raptors, Wolves, Blue, Gromp into gank top lane. And I'm like, I'm totally fine with that, dude. If you want to gank my Ornn, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. He's going to path towards top side. I'm willing to path the opposite direction and go bot side. And let's see how it plays out, okay? Looking here, there's a little bit of trading going on. I see some trading up here in the top side. So I'm like, okay. I actually opted not to even go for the gank. I'm not sure why I waited here. I could have just started taking the blue buff right away. It looks like he walked over a ward over here. Poppy's too low to contest me here. Normally, I would have gone for the kill here, knowing she doesn't have a flash. But I see the Gragas bot lane, and I decide to go for that more. Instead, taking some agency away from the Gragas. Now he's stuck on his top side with no camps to take. He can take Crab, but that's pretty much it. And since he's gonna go for Crab here, see if I look for a gank. I don't use Q because if I run at her with Q, she's just gonna stop me with her W. I'm waiting here. A Gragas shows up, and nothing really happens. This kind of fizzles out. So it turned into me trying to react to the Gragas from the bot lane gank that he did. He loses 2 of his camps, which is really nice for me. I don't get the kill in the top lane, but I'm still securing a lead where I get Dirk on my... Oh, I don't get Dirk. I did 2 long swords on my first back. Ideally, you want to be backing when you have Dirk. That's probably the best back you can get with the lethality. You do tons of damage. You can take Dragon really early. He goes for the top lane gank, and the game is not looking good at all. The game is not looking good. It's not in our favor. Oh no, it's a 5-0 start. I didn't even remember this game being such a terrible start. I see the Sivir committing onto my Jinx. I get the Sivir flash. I'm like, okay, at least I get something. I don't get nothing. I get both of my E's on her, and Jinx actually pokes her down too. So this is a potential dive. Too risky though. Like, she always has her spell shield if I ever try to Q her. It was a potential dive, not a high percentage chance dive, but potential. Now we see Azurath here in the mid lane, very low HP, and I have my flash up. Now this is a nice kill here. This is a nice kill option. So I start charging Q right outside of vision. I flub it, but Morgana lands her Q. So I flash E to secure the kill there because the Gragas actually stopped me. In hindsight, I probably should have held on to my Q, but I was expecting him to walk back, and then I was just going to flash on top of him. But that didn't work out the way I intended. Lux is right here, so I'm like, okay, I need to get out of here. I see that she landed the Q, but I'm like, no, I can't follow up on that. There's 3 people here. She flashes onto the Morg, or Gragas flashes onto the Morg, and then she dies here. So this game is not looking good for us. Not at all. We're down like 3k gold already in the early stages of the game. Gragas has done like 3 successful ganks. I've done only 1. It's looking rough for us. It's looking rough. But believe in the build, guys. Believe in it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but this is winnable. It is absolutely winnable. When you have a Vi going damage on your team, and you have setup like Morgana and Ornn, even Heimerdinger to some extent with his E, it's extremely winnable. You just need to survive in the early game, don't give any stupid deaths, don't lose tempo, and you can make it to the late game where you are a scaling monster. You just need to look for those small windows of opportunity where you can find kills and get yourself leads and just snowball the game out of control. Now I'm pinging here because I thought that the Gragas invaded me because they have pressure bot lane. And I didn't see Xerath at the time, so I was very afraid. But the Heimerdinger has the audacity to come over here and give me a nice little turret just to spot it out for me, just to see if there's any danger. And I get to take my bot side for free. Just clear my camps now. Again, pathing towards the bot side of the map, while Gragas is pathing up towards the top side. I'm gonna ward over here. I take the blast plant, I think. I believe, yes. I see Gragas, I'm like, okay, I'm out. I'm out. There's no gank. What does that mean for us? What does Gragas being bot mean for us? It means that he did one camp and then came bot lane rather than stay on tempo with his clearing and do his Raptors, Wolves, and Grump. So he's gonna take that win. He's gonna take that dub. He's got pressure. He's got prio here in this lane. So I can't really make anything happen there. So I'm just going to reset and go back to my top side. And look at this. Look at this. It's a free kill. So close. I was thinking about using E to kill her here, but she autos me for some reason, trying to get shield, and then I get the kill. I think if she just walked away, I probably could have killed her, or she probably could have gotten away. Another play I could have done was kill the minions, get level 6, and then R her. As you see, after I got the kill, I got level 6. Now I'm really strong. I know I have pressure top side because Poppy is dead. I have my Heimerdinger pushing out mid lane. So this is a very, very safe invade here to go for his blue buff. I don't commit for the Gromp, however, because I know Poppy is coming off her respawn and she would be here about right now. So if I was doing Gromp right now, it would be 2v1 and I'd be stuck here. So you always want to understand your windows of opportunity for your invades. You never want to take low percent chance invades. High percent chance invades mean you have pile top lane, you have pile mid lane, and there's no one who can contest you in that time frame. If you ever get that, that's nearly 100% chance to get your camp as long as you know how fast you can get it. I get level 7 here. I'm thinking I can counter gank. However, Ornn dies too quickly, and now it's a 9-3 deficit, and the enemy team has Fire Dragon, the first dragon. This is looking not good at all for us. It looks really bad. However, I do have 2 kills, and do know what that means. That's 2 Ingenious Hunter stacks, which is, and the item cooldown is going to start ramping up as every time I get a kill. I immediately QR here because I have 3 people with me. It's unfortunate I didn't land the Q. You always want to make sure that you land Qs first on the targets that you hit, never R first, because you lose insane amounts of damage. Your Q auto E procs your W, reducing armor, and it's an insane amount of burst alongside electrocute, so when you do miss it, you lose a lot of damage. However, it worked out because I did have 2 other teammates right beside me, so we get the kill. Heimerdinger is getting dumped on here. He has to flash to live there because Lux roamed up from the bot lane, and I secure the Herald with the little play that was happened on the Gragas. A reset. Nothing really to do top lane. It's not worth going all the way over here for my Raptors if I have my Eclipse. I bought Eclipse on my reset, and now I'm a lot stronger. I have my tier, so my scaling is going to be through the roof now. Like the item haste is really low. Normally it's 8 seconds for every mana charge, but now it's going to be even lower, around like 5 to 6 seconds. I think I'm worded here because the enemy team pings it. However, I don't see that. Of course, I can't see the enemy team's pings in game. I think there might be a pink right here. Oh, there's a word right here. A deep word. Unfortunately. It's okay. You just chill and scale. Luckily, my Jinx is winning a 2v2 bot lane. And they both die to the Lux laser. An enemy team is probably feeling really good about this game. I'm sure they feel great. So I come behind the Zerath here, maybe looking for something. Waiting. I see Gragas here. I have R, so if I could land Q on this guy, he's 100% dead. However, he does have flash. He's got Gragas nearby. So I'm like, okay, I can't do this. So I walk in lane, test him. He misses his E, so I'm like, okay, this is free. So free. Sometimes people will underestimate you, and they mess up their cooldowns. Like he missed his E there, and completely throw their lead. He had a massive lead. Now I just shut it down. I dropped the rift real quick to get some more extra gold. And I see Gragas mid lane, so I'm like, okay, this can't be counter gang. Orange sees me coming in. He drops the ult immediately. He CCs the poppy. I follow up. Remember what I said. Setup. Setup is what you need. I get the shutdown, and now I'm massive. I am massive now. I have a 200 goal shutdown. I have 4 kills. I see Gragas here. There's no one who can help this guy, so if we fight, he's going to be alone. He hits me over, and then he goes over and back over onto my Ornn. I flash to finish him off, and now I have 5 kills. They ping my flash, but that's how you want to be using your flash, guys. You never want to put yourself in a position where you need to flash away, because then you're doing something wrong. You're doing something seriously wrong. You're not tracking the enemy jungler. You're not using threat assessment to see if the mid laner or the top laner is going to kill you. If their lanes are pushed in, if they're invading you. You do not want to be dying on this pick. You cannot die on this pick. If you do, you lose tempo, you lose the amount of time on your map, and you're not going to be collecting gold, and that means that you're not going to be scaling. And we know that this is a scaling build. You scale to the late game. It's insanely strong. I dodged the E really quick. I dodged the Q, little fancy feet, hit him with the Q auto E, burst him down, auto him. I walk back because I'm like, okay, I can't finish the last auto. I don't have the movement speed. I dodge it out. I survive. I live with 22 HP. I probably should not have gone for that play. Some people may have thought, I'm not sure if I had R in that instance, but why didn't you R? You never want to R a target that's under tower if you have tower aggro. It guarantees that the tower hits you twice under tower, so you never want to be doing that. I'm not a fan of giving a 300 gold shutdown to Xerath. That's not going to be helping my team in any way whatsoever. Of course, we reset. We start building. We bought our Ionian boots. Now our flash is on a lower cooldown. We can look for more flash plays. It's going to be great. Everything is looking out to be really good this game. My tier is stacking fast. It's at 111 at 14 minutes. So here, I immediately Q Arch onto the Sivir. Of course, she uses her spell shield, but it doesn't matter because my Jinx is right next to her. She's alone. She's singled out. She's a singled out target. I'm just making sure I don't take any damage, and then I burst down the dragon with my Q auto E combo, and then secure it for my team. And now the game looks relatively even. It looked really bad earlier in this game. Just know that if you can find leads on this champion, you can be insanely strong. I see Gragas here, coming for my Jinx. So I'm looking for him. I'm like, where did he go? We see him right here. Unluckily, he hits the blast plant. But Morgana is coming back from base, and he dies. That's a huge mistake from Gragas. He should never really be there. He can't really kill people by himself. He needs his team with him. Unless he's like really fed, in which he's not. He's only got one item. Like, he can't just full on one shot the 80 carry by himself with one rotation. He's not me. He doesn't have the damage that I do. The sad thing about Vi is you're kind of subject to range. Like, if the enemy team has a lot of range on you, there's not much you can do about it unless they're not paying attention to you. As you saw earlier before, like, I tried to dodge all of the Xerath's abilities and go from under tower. I nearly got him, but I just had a little bit of missing damage. Just clearing all my camps efficiently up towards the top side of the map. We have Herald spawning here. We have setup from Ornn. Ornn is ultimate's about to come up. Of course, I think I sweep here. Okay, I start to sweep. I see the Gragas. We start fighting, and I get picked off. I give a 1k shutdown to the Poppy. That's not good. So unfortunately, I do die, but this death was hard to avoid. It was hard because there's people missing on the map. I'm looking for top side. You could argue and say there's a lot of people missing. You shouldn't go for it. I wanted to get vision. I popped the sweeper, and right around the corner is Gragas. So it's kind of unfortunate timing that he was there by that time. However, in hindsight, you can say like there's people missing. You have to respect that, and I didn't respect it, and I gave a 1K shutdown away. It's not ideal. However, we're still in this game. It's not over. We get our Black Cleaver, and now we are insanely strong. We're really strong. Black Cleaver with our Eclipse. Remember what I mentioned before. The Eclipse passive stacks a passive of. So why does this work? Let's see. From the enemy's perspective, I just show up now. They don't think that I can kill them from here, right? But Flash changes that. It changes your lethality, your range of lethal. I know that I can one-shot this guy. I know I can one-shot this guy if I can land my Q. If I can land Q auto E, R auto E, they're 100% dead. The amount of damage I do is massive with these 2 items. You see that? Q auto E R. That's all it took to kill a 1400 target. 1400 damage target. Insanely strong. This guy's trying to do some jukes, trying to survive under tower. I see them all pathing towards top, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take your bot side camps. If you guys want the rift so bad, if you are trying to play for top side, that's cool. I'll take her camps. I'll try to get strong somewhere else. Always want to be looking for wherever there's free gold on the map. This guy's low. I don't even need to help. Jinx just straight up like solos him, which is really nice. I just wait for my Q to go over the wall so I don't have to walk around. And oddly enough, they don't take the Herald. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I think they should have taken it because they had pressure here. They could have taken it for free, but they just decide not to. I'm not sure. The whole point of them being top lane was for the Herald, right? So it's a big mistake on the Gragas' part. We have dragon spawning. Dragon spawning in like a minute. We see Heimerdinger like kind of stuck here, so I'm like, okay, maybe I can help him if he can survive for just a little bit. Gragas is really looking for him here. I see I have a pink ward here, so I just Q over and wait for my Q cooldown, and now I go in. I don't go in before my Q, I go in when I have my Q. Her blast shield goes down, and then I alter. And now I am massive. I'm 9-1-2 now. I'm huge. And I almost have my tier fully stacked. Nearly fully stacked around 20 minutes. Just waiting for the dragon to spawn. We killed them so we can get this for free. Nothing special here. Just taking my blue buff. Alright, let's reset. No, I'm just continuing to farm. I think I'm close. I'm trying to just farm for my mana moon. Also, when you have your tier, you want to be, ideally you want to be on the map as long as you can in between your resets. So you're going to be having a lot of gold stacked onto you when you go back at this point in the game. Because you don't really want mana moon when it's not stacked, you want it when it's fully stacked. So now there's nothing else to hit on the map to stack my tier. Now I'm going to reset and buy more items to get stronger. Let's see what I buy. I actually complete the item, I have enough gold for it. And I buy 2 pinks. It takes quite a while to build your GA after you get your mana moon. Some cases you want to build GA before you build the mana moon too. However, do understand if you do that, you're going for survivability over damage. Just keep that in mind. It's an option. You can do GA first. However, I only recommend it if the enemy team has some really big threats for you. And you need to be a frontline carry for your team. I find the Zerath here. He was ulting. The crazy thing about this build is... Let me finish the fight first. Oh, now I have my mana stacked and it's giving me 50 AD. Insane. And then I go over here to stop the Poppy as well. Anyways, the thing I was saying. The crazy thing about this build is if you Q auto E R somebody, your Q is going to be up as your R finishes, so you can chain CC them, making it true combo. And that pretty much means that you're going to be like suppressing a target for like nearly 4 seconds, like 3 to 4 seconds of hard CC. Where if you land Q auto E R Q, because your R and Q is now guaranteed because of the changes that Riot made. I always say this. I always express this when I see it viable. It's an insane quality of life change that makes Vi way more consistent. The guaranteed CC is just massive. So I see the tower dropping, so I don't even mind just walking up. And do you see the damage? Do you see the damage? This becomes a slaughter. This literally becomes a slaughter. The amount of damage you deal is just insane. All because I farmed efficiently, looked for free kills, didn't die. Those are the 3 criteria to reach this point in this game. It also helps that I have an Ornn and a Morgana and a Heimerdinger who can set up kills for me. Level 17 at 23 minutes in. Once I get GA, they'll never be able to kill me because they don't have anyone who can really do that unless I severely misplay. Again, I'm not neglecting clearing my camps either. There's downtime. No one's doing anything. They're just sitting mid with their Baron buff. They came off of their reset. All my camps are cleared. Now I can help push. I can go in the side lane, push the side lane. Vi as carry is really, really strong in the side lane. Because the one thing that makes it insanely strong is the fact that no one can match you. If no one can match you in the side lane, then you always want to be going there. Well, not always, but it's a very, very strong option to go in the side lane. Like, leave your team to do 4-1 split. So 4 people mid, and you go bot, or 4 people mid, and you go top, depending on what objective is up. There's nothing here, so I'm going to go bot lane and go into secure pressure there. Even if my team dies, it doesn't even matter. I have my GA now. I backed and I got it. You're about to see mass destruction here. I just R him because I don't want to get booped away by the Poppy. It's destruction, guys. It's mayhem. They cannot stop me. I'm way too strong now. Way, way too strong. Get 3 kills. I'm like, okay. Hi. Hi. Guys, listen. That was not a fully charged Q. Let's go back. This was not a fully charged Q here. Just keep that in mind. 1700 damage. Q auto E. 1700 damage. Not fully charged Q. Riot, what have you done? What have you done with this champion, man? Why are you incentivizing us to play damage? You know what? I'm not gonna say anything, right? Don't make any changes. The champion you've done, that you've made, the monster you've created is beautiful. Do not stop them. Keep the damage scaling. It's okay if the small damage is off on her early game. I don't care about that. Now I'm a hyper carry. Destruction, guys. Absolute destruction. Look at the Lux pinging my bounty. 700 gold. They're like, what are we gonna do? They should just FF, honestly. There's nothing they can do to stop me. I can literally go fight them in their base. 1v1. Look, they think they've stopped me here. They think. I'm not gonna go under tower here. I'm never gonna put myself in a position where they can even kill me with GA. Maybe if I go crazy and start limit testing, but I'm not gonna do that. 18, 1 and 4. I'm thinking. And just look at the cooldown. Look at the cooldown on the ult, man. Just look at it. You see? Do you see this? 43 seconds on my R. I don't know why people consider going Axiom Arc in any lethality builds. This is the best lethality build you can go. In terms of viability for comp. Because of the defensive capabilities you have. And I straight up by the edge of night, and now how are they going to stop me? How are they going to stop me? My flash is coming up again too. I'm a legit raid boss. Raid boss Vi. Am I even farming for, I think I might be farming for an elixir. I'm a madman. Oh, just shrug that off. I think that was just R smite E and that killed her. By the way, guys, don't ever get tricked into thinking that you need red smite. Vi has so much damage in her kit. It's not necessary. Don't go red smite. It's just not necessary. The mobility that you get from the blue pet is just way more valuable. Way more valuable. That's embarrassing. Missing the scuttle crab there. I'm full build, but I still look to take the enemy's camps to take it away from their team, just so they don't get more gold. It looks like we're pushing to the top side, pushing towards the top side tower. They get caught a little bit. I go for the Lux. I do auto E auto smite. She almost dies, and then she stopwatches or Zarya's and I Q. I flash onto the silver. And I'm still looking. I still have my R. If you guys think that this build doesn't work in high elo, reconsider. Dumpa is playing this build in Masters, 400 LP, 400 around that range, 400 to 500. I'm playing the build in Diamond 2. Of course, this is my testing account, my Classical Kill. Classical Kill YouTube is the one that I'm climbing on currently with a 60% run rate. Only playing carry Vi, by the way. They're trying to all in me here. It's just what is my cool? My Q cooldown is 3 seconds. My E cooldown is 0.51 seconds. Wait, what? Is that true? And since I'm low, I'm not gonna try to blow my GA doing something stupid. I'm just gonna go to my red. And then I'm gonna go for dragon here. It's soul, right? It's gonna make me even more tanky, the chem tech skill. And I'm just enjoying this game. When I get ahead like this, I know like I can make sure the enemy team never wins. So even if it stalls, I'm not scared. Securing objectives like this is always nice in the late game. But Vi is really bad at sieging. Simply because your R like locks you in CC. So you can't dive people really well. So it's one of the downsides of playing Vi, but in turn you do get a lot of damage. I mean, you can play Vi as a carry now. It's beautiful. My team killed them, so just gonna take the bot inhib. I know I should be taking in the Nexus Tower right here, but I like to stack up damage, that objective damage stat. And then we just end the game off. 27, 1 and 4. Against Poppy, Gragas, Zerath, Sivir, Lux. This was in Platinum Elo. I will make another game where I do the same exact build in Diamond. I'll show you a game I play in Diamond in this. And show you guys that there's no excuse for you to not carry your games as Vi anymore. I don't want to see any more tank Vi. Done with it. No more tank Vi. Carry Vi. Carry Vi, guys. Please go carry Vi. Use this build. Spread the word. Spread the word. Carry Vi is it.